Hello, everybody. How are you, you gorgeous people? Today, we're gonna have a bit of fun. Okay, we're gonna have a bit of fun, and we're gonna talk about love strategies, your love strategy, and your partner's love strategy. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So, what is a love strategy? Well, a love strategy is something that you like being done to you, and when it's done to you, you feel that you are being loved. And other people, when you do their love strategy to them, they feel loved. So what's that about? It's it's really important that you know your love strategy, but even more important that you know your partner's love strategy. So what's it made up of, a love strategy? Well, let me just give you a little overview on the way that we process information. Depending on the person, we have modalities, okay? Some modalities are stronger than others. Some of them we have a preference for. So you've got the visual modality. That is, people like to see stuff. They like to see stuff, yeah? And so, they'll say, yeah, I can see what you mean. I like the look of that. That looks good, yeah? Okay, imagine, and they paint it for you. Imagine this. That's visual people. They're the biggest percentage in our population, visual people. Then we've got auditory people, and that just means that the preference is the auditory modality. So they like to hear things. Auditory people like to talk, and they like to listen. Auditory people are very good listeners. And so when auditory people are listening to you, you'll often find that they won't look at you. They're kind of like this. They're listening like a dog. And they've got the head cocked like a dog, okay? Because dogs have got very high hearing, haven't they? And so that's what auditory people are. And they use different language. They say, I like the sound of that. Yeah, that rings my bells. That just, that has a good sound to it. Yeah, I can resonate with that. Well, we can use that for something else as well. But they tend to talk in terms of sound, and they must hear. Okay, they want to hear. So visual people, just going back, visual people, they like a bit of distance between the speaker and themselves, so they can let the dog see the rabbit. Visual person wrote that little thing. Yeah, auditory people, they like to get a bit closer because they want to hear. They want to hear it. They want to hear everything you say. That doesn't mean that the auditory people aren't visual. Everybody is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, which we'll come to. But we have preferences, our strength, okay? And then we've got kinesthetic people. Kinesthetic people are touchers. They're the ones who process information by way of feeling, the big feelers. Kinesthetic people, when you're with them, they get very close to you and they will touch you a lot. Kinesthetic people and when kinesthetic people touch you, you notice it. It's like, oh, wow, I really have been touched. Yeah. They can be quite, in relationships, they can be a little bit intense in terms of touching. Why? Because they feel that that's their way of communicating. So they'll touch you rather than say something to you or look at you in a certain way. Yeah. So kinesthetic people. And when you talk to a kinesthetic person, you'll see a couple of things. Kinesthetic people sit like this in the chair. They look slumped. They look like they're not paying attention. They really are, but they're just feeling your words. And kinesthetic people talk slowly. Visual people talk really quickly. Auditory people are more measured, and kinesthetic people talk slowly. They're feeling the words as they come out. Okay, so that's where we are. We've all got those, and some people have all of all of them at the same level. Some people have a preference. I know that my preference is auditory. I like to hear, but I'm also extremely visual as well. But hearing is very important to me. Okay, so that's who we are, right? And I know we're putting ourselves in a box, but it's just a nice little idea. It's a metaphor. So what about love strategy? Well, love strategy is this. We've got 3 options. And so I'm going to ask you these questions, and I want you just to get an idea of what feels right for you, what sounds right for you, what looks right for you. There you are. I've covered all the modalities there. Think of a time when you felt really loved, a specific moment. Okay? The person that was making you feel loved, and think of it with a person, okay? Were they showing you something? And that could be a present, taking you somewhere so you can look at some place. Were they telling you something? Were they saying words of love to you? Or were they touching you? Yeah? So that's the first one, because we have 3 steps in our love strategy. However, it's the first one that's important. What do you need to have to feel loved? Do you need to see something? Do you need to hear something, hear some words or whatever? Or do you need to feel something? Right? So that's the first one. So just make a note. Then the next one is, after you've seen or you've heard or you've felt, what else has to happen? Does the person then have to show you something? Does the person have to tell you something? Or the person has to touch you? So a very standard love strategy is this, that the person tells you these words, I love you, and then they touch you. And whoa, suddenly you feel loved. Oh my God. Or if your love strategy is a visual one, the person says, look what I bought for you. And then they touch you. And you see it and you feel it. Oh my God, I'm in love. Yeah, I really feel loved. Or the person has to tell you something. I just want you to know how much I love you. And then they give you something you can see it. Okay. So whatever that is, the order that it is, and you just have to think of a few instances where you've really felt love. You know what your love strategy is. Yeah. For your partner, do you know what your partner's love strategy is? One of the mistakes that we tend to make is that we have a love strategy and we know what makes us feel loved, and we then do that to everybody else, thinking that they're going to feel loved. The situation, often kinesthetic people who to feel love need to be touched. Then you can tell them something, or show them something, but they need to be touched. They then go around touching everybody because they want to show that they love them. Now, visual people don't like to be mauled. They like distance. They don't like to, it's a bit too close. I can't see what's happening. And so kinesthetic people can make visual people feel mauled to death because they're touching them all the time, right? And this is all about love strategy. So what you do is you say to your partner, for you to be loved, to feel loved, do I have to show you something? Do I have to tell you something? Or do I have to touch you? And they might say, well, all of those. And you say, yes, in what order though? What do I have to do first? Well, I'd like you to tell me and then touch me. Yeah. Or I'd like you to show me something and then tell me while we're there. So ask your partner and find out what it is that gets them feeling love. Once you know it, that's what you have to do. Once you know it, and you probably know it automatically. If you're very close to your partner, you probably know it. But if you don't, and if you've been using the wrong strategy, then lots of partners, and I've seen this where marriages are failing when I do a love strategy with them. They've got completely different love strategies and they're both using the wrong ones. They're using their own. And they're thinking, hey, well, I've been telling them I love him for years. And the guy's been saying, she never bloody touches me. Okay? So that's what a love strategy is. Once you know it, then you can use it, and you can use it on other people. Right? You can use it on other people as a form of manipulation, but good manipulation. If you want your best friend to feel really good, and you love them and you want them to feel love, you just ask them that. Hey, you know, when you feel love, they won't know what you're doing. Don't do it directly afterwards. Yeah, ask them when you think about the times when you've really felt love. What had to happen? Did somebody have to show you something, or did they have to tell you something, or did they have to touch you? They'll tell you, and you say, what order does that have to be for you to feel loved? And then you log it down, and then in the next opportunity, you do that. So imagine somebody says to you, what I like to see something, and then I like to hear something, and then I like to feel something. And so you then take your best friend to the theatre, and you say, look, I've taken you here because I know that you would really like to see this, and I'm doing this because I want you to know that I love you. And then you touch the cheek. They are in ecstasy. They will be in ecstasy. They'll go, oh my God, I like this person. Yeah. So, love strategies, great fun. Try it out on your partner, find out, and then start using it. And the world will change for you. Certainly your relationship will change for you. I promise you. There you are. I'll leave that with you. I love you all, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.